What is manifestation? Manifestation is the belief of putting our desired, focused intentions, beliefs, or emotions consistently out into the universe and it becoming a reality. These thoughts become our call sign or frequency. Our frequency echoes out into the cosmos to be intercepted by those that can hear it. The universe, God, this massive organism that we are all a part of becomes aware of our existence. It will intuitively understand what we are wanting to accomplish and aid us in our efforts if we have been chosen. It will bend reality to make our dreams more probable, fill our mind with new creative endeavors, and put the right people on our path towards success. Keep in mind, however, it's not as simple as thinking and it becoming. We need to visualize, create plans, have goals, take massive amounts of action, and stay positive. Wait, so there's just this ultra powerful, omnipotent force out there that picks and chooses who to aid and bestow blessings on? Again, my friend, it's not so simple. This isn't the best way to explain it. It's a little bit too reductionistic, but it's easy enough for anyone to understand. So, just follow me. Just like when we are tired, hungry, or sick, our body, organs, cells tells us what is wrong and what it needs. Imagine we are white blood cells in the body of a host. Our job is to be aware of foreign entities, bacteria, or viruses. When we find these things lurking around our host's body, we attack. Our intentions are to defend our host and to destroy the virus. Our host becomes aware that it is sick. It feels fatigued, slower, muddier, and congested. A really good host, a loving host, will know how to help us. It will rest more, eat healthier, drink probiotics, and if needed, take medicine. But our host won't know it's become sick until we take action. That's the direct signal to our host, the universe, God, that we are trying to accomplish something very specific and we need help. In our lives, this can be a friend that invites us to try something new, something we see out in public that makes the pieces in our brain click, a passage from a book or an influencer that was everything we needed to hear in that moment. We've been in the dark trying to solve a unique problem. Then and we finally connect all those dots. An entirely new pathway becomes clear to us. We have vision, we have hope, but best of all, we have certainty for our next move. Those events could very well be the universe sensing our struggles. It heard our call for help and aided us. Just remember, the more effort, the more action, focus, pain, and sacrifice we put into our dreams, the louder the call becomes. Of course, I've had my own personal experiences with manifestation and why it's so important for me to get out this information to you guys. For a long time, I've been terrified to call myself an artist. Creating things is something I've obsessively done for as long as I can remember. From creating dynamic fights between my plastic ninjas I got from the local pizza arcade, you know the types, to sketching comic books in elementary that I would sell to my classmates. By middle school, I was getting pretty good at making more detailed and sophisticated art. But just because of how my mind worked, I was never really interested in what most of my classmates were doing. I was all in on creativity and they were just regular students. So just like most of you listening, I really didn't put too much of an effort to socialize with most people. It's not that I didn't like them, it's just I couldn't relate to most people. I just wanted to make art or swim in the universe of my imagination while my teacher harped on about algebra. But as I started going through middle school, like this, you can imagine school wasn't all too fun for me. People who made art just never seemed to have a lot of friends, get invited places, or do things that a young testosterone-filled teen wants to do. So I had to force myself to be more outgoing. I joined sports teams, started partying, and going out more. School life got way better. My art life, not so much. As time went on, I was making art less and less, and by choice. But some way, somehow, despite all my best efforts to kill the artist in me, it stayed. Way in the back of my mind, I would always hear a whisper, create me, a non-stop nagging energy that wanted me to help create it into the real world. So by force and not my choice, I reluctantly picked up the pencil again. Then started using pens, pastels, acrylics, and oils. Shit, I was hooked again. It had been over 8 years since I walked away from art. It felt like I was so far behind, and I knew I couldn't quit this time. I didn't care. I was making art again. It filled something deep in me. Mind, body, and soul all fulfilled. Yet there was still a big issue. I still couldn't bring myself to commit. I treated art like a passive thing to do in my free time, a hobby. I was back in, but I knew deep down I still was half-assing it. Mainly because I was embarrassed. Embarrassed because I still felt like a child making doodles in his room. I had not deep dived into the works of other artists, who they were, how serious of a profession this could be. I had only ever heard of the cliches of artists. They were all losers, burnouts, never to make any real money, and worst of all, I believed them. These notions made me half scared to fully commit, imagining a future of ramen noodles for dinner, a rundown studio apartment in the worst part of the city, bill collectors harassing me every hour of the day deep into the gloomy nights. This was not good. It was a trap and I knew it. For years I went on making art haphazardly, enjoying the process but never out loud or seeking teachers to help improve. I couldn't pull the trigger, so I started leaning more and more towards business school. I do enjoy business, however, I was never too sure about actually going to school for it. I mean, logically it makes sense, right? I'd get a good paying job, people would respect me, I wouldn't be embarrassed about telling people what I did for a living. Yet that feeling, that nagging feeling deep in the back of my mind was still there. It wanted to make art and was telling me that I could not care less about studying finance. It didn't feel like my authentic choice, just something to shield me from people's judgments. I had to really sit back and think. I did the only thing I could do and signed up for the only art class I could find. A beginner's painting lesson at the local museum of art. I showed up really early, overly excited to finally take art lessons. I walked into the museum and asked the receptionist where the classes were being held. Down the hallway and to the right, she said. Weird, she looked vaguely familiar. I thanked her and made my way to class. Class began, we learned the bare bones of how to mix colors and blending. I took these small lessons as seriously as I've ever taken anything. I was so focused and grateful to finally be taking this first step. I could not wait to head back home and practice immediately. I walked out of the classroom, down the hall, and towards the exit. I passed her again. I didn't say anything, I just kept walking. I stopped. There it was again, that weird nagging feeling in the back of my mind, in the pit of my stomach. I turned around without hesitation. Hey, you used to work at X coffee shop years back, right? Yes, so did you, right? Aha, she did look familiar, and I did know her. We had worked together for a minute when I started working at X coffee shop. right as I picked up art again. Man, what a bizarre coincidence. She had been studying art when I first met her. She had taken a break and was back to studying art and working at the art museum. We talked for a while about art school, how she enjoyed it, what she was learning, and if it was worth it. I must have asked about 1,000 stupid questions, looking like a psycho, but I just had to know, hoping her answers would give me some weight towards my decisions. "Whoa, this is crazy," she exclaimed out loud. I turned around and saw another ex-coworker from ex-coffee shop. It's like a reunion. Our coworker walked up to us and we all greeted each other. She was the only person I've ever met that had been going to art school. The only two people I knew studying art, all quickly thrown in front of me in less than 10 minutes. My head was in a tailspin of thoughts trying to make sense of it all. We spent a while chit-chatting and catching up, and when it was finally time for me to leave, I slowly made my way out of the museum, moving my body through what felt like this weird, euphoric, hazy fog. Uncertain of everything now. No real thoughts, just weird sensations all throughout my body. As I walked down the traffic-packed street of vehicles and people enjoying their weekend, I knew there was no way in hell I would be showing up to those finance classes later on in the month. It's that intuitive understanding no one gets when the universe moves things into your life to give you a message. Shouting right at me in nonverbal words, "You idiot, how many clues do I have to keep giving you until you finally wake the hell up and commit? Do I have to materialize into your dimension and smack you in the head for you to get the message?" I drove around in complete silence, contemplating my next move. I have to drop out of business classes, sign up for all the art classes I can find before the semester starts, and the most gut-wrenching part of all, I had to tell my parents I was switching from finance to art. To put it into perspective for ourselves, we need to take action towards our dreams, making sure we are focused spiritually, mentally, and physically on a desired outcome. These thoughts and emotions are our frequency that tune into something very specific that we want. The actions we take towards that specific goal are the fuel, the power source that allows our frequency to shoot stronger, farther out into the universe. The more action we take, the effort we exert, and keep trying more, our radio stays on broadcasting. The longer our radio stays on, the luckier we get. The universe will hear our call for help. It feels and understands what we are trying to accomplish and communicate with us. Give us new and better ideas. Move things and people into our life in our favor. Open new possibilities into our life. And that is all, folks. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.